Hello, WolveSpirit fans. This is Oliver and Rio, and welcome to the fourth episode of our podcast, The Making of WolveSpirit. And today we're going to talk about Blue Eyes, the album from 2017, produced in 2016. And we're going to talk about it a little bit today. But first, before we proceed, we just want to say that we would love that when you subscribe and hit that bell icon. And of course, you can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and etc. Okay.
And of course, you can always leave comments if you like this kind of stuff that we're doing right here. And you can comment whatever you want, actually.
Okay.
But only positive comments.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's get back to Blue Eyes.
Only positive comments.
Blue Eyes was a different approach when we produced that album.
Yes, it was in Nashville. We produced it 2016, but this time not with Michael Wagner. We went to produced with Andrea Tokic. That's the same producer as
Alabama Shakes.
His
most famous
act
band that he produced, I think.
Yeah, and that was 2016. It was really a nice year, and it was really a productive year.
You know, the funniest thing about why we chose the bomb shelter studio. Maybe you should tell that story.
Well, after we were searching for a new producer and studio, and so I went on Google and did a Google search. I just searched for studios in East Nashville, and the reason for this was because it was close to our favorite restaurant, the Wild Cow.
And most of us are vegans, and all of us are vegetarians, at least.
Yeah, I think. And
I flip-flop out of veganism.
Yeah.
But anyways, the Wild Cow is like a favorite restaurant in Nashville. Maybe besides that Indian thing.
The Indian, what's it called?
Wakewood? No.
Westwood or something.
Something like that.
Lindsay, you know what it's called? Wildwood.
Something like that.
Some Indian something. And
that's pretty good too. But that's not in East Nashville.
But I just searched for a studio that was close to that restaurant, and I happened to stumble over the Bomb Shelter studio, and I read a bit about the producer, and we really liked how he produced. He is still to this day an analog fanatic, and he loves old tape machines and old analog gear, and he produces this way.
He also has a different approach of how to mic stuff.
Yeah,
because most producers like a combination of really close miking and then really awesome room mics. And Andrea, he most of the times he doesn't really do close miking. Even when he takes a guitar amp, there's like this much of a distance between the microphone and the amp. And that's really unusual because most of the time it's just a little tiny difference like that. And same thing goes for the drums, for the snare for example.
Right.
You only used 5 microphones for the whole drum set, and all of them had a distance like that.
He was almost the opposite to Michael Wagner, because Michael Wagner was this really technical hi-fi guy, and Andrea is this lo-fi, let's just get into the room and record something and do this awesome session together and see what comes out of it. Mm-hmm. That's what we did. We played without click. We played everything live. So the basic tracks we lay down, drums, bass, guitar, and organ. We did in a live session.
Yeah, no click, just
no click, and we did some overdubs after that, and of course the vocals. And some keys, of course, but the basic tracks are all live session, and that's what you can hear in that album. It's really, there's no like click. It's really sometimes going slower, sometimes faster.
Anyway, we went to the Wild Cow, I think, every day.
Every day
to get some food.
Still went every day. after we changed to Southern Ground in 2017.
Yeah, it's not too far away. Okay, let's get started.
Okay, let's start with...
But Wild Cow never gets boring, right?
Yeah, for vegans, it's a really good restaurant. Because you have burgers, you have burgers and burgers.
Caesar salad, nachos.
Taco salad.
Taco salad.
And they have good cupcakes.
The only thing they don't have is fries and good coffee.
But coffee shop is nearby.
Yeah. And Andrea makes awesome coffee. Like, there was no need to get coffee somewhere else because he would just tell his assistant, Drew. I don't know. I think Drew is not his assistant anymore. He's like his partner or something now.
Okay.
He got raised.
Yeah, because he made such a good coffee that he got a raise. Okay, let's get into it. It's the first song is "You Know That I'm Evil." Just gonna start it here.
I think I'm gonna turn up the volume a little bit.
So.
Maybe that was too much. The organs really stand out in the entire album because Andrea, his whole studio is filled with old vintage. It's filled with vintage equipment, but especially with keyboards. He just loves organs.
He loves keys in general. Right from the beginning, you can hear that analog sound.
Yeah.
That tape saturation. This is the album we did completely analog. There was nothing digital in that. The only digital thing that happened in the album was the mastering.
Yeah, right at the end. There's some people that are actually that don't even want to have the master be digitalized. They still want the entire thing to be produced analog, and then they want it to be I don't know how, I don't know the process, but when you put it on vinyl, they don't want anything digital between that.
You can do that, but in the end, if you want to put it on the internet, it has to be digital, so you don't get around that.
Yeah.
But you can go from the master tape directly to vinyl. That's possible.
Yeah, that's really like the old school way to do it. Don't turn it into zeros and ones. Just don't do that.
Yeah, because they're evil.
But in a way, that makes sense.
That's why it's called "You Know That I'm Evil," because you didn't want to go digital. So that's actually the meaning of the song.
I wonder how we came up with those lyrics. We were watching a lot of dark stuff like The Walking Dead and True Blood and that kind of stuff.
I don't know how Debbie came up with the lyrics, but I think it's probably about demons and stuff. Like.
Yeah.
That's an epic solo from Debbie.
Yep.
Andrea was really...
I think you can call him Andrew too.
What?
I think you can call him Andrew as well. Like, nobody knows how to pronounce his name.
That's true. That's what he told us. Nobody knows how to pronounce his name. Because it's some East European pronunciation. But he was pretty impressed by that raw from Debbie. I can remember that. And he was so enthusiastic about his work. He was like always at the mixer and then like turning knobs and was dancing to it. Like, yeah, let's do this.
I can. Can you remember when we first saw the studio from outside? We were really disappointed because it looked like an old shack.
It was
like an old garage or something like that.
But he later on told us they did this on purpose so it wouldn't get robbed. So it looked like an old, small, tiny little shabby house.
Really?
Yeah.
Did that on purpose?
Yeah, he did it on purpose.
But
because there's so much.
I mean, once you enter the studio, it's an awesome vibe. It really feels great. The couches and I don't know.
It feels cozy, yeah. But there's no sunlight because you blocked
out. But most studios don't have sunlight.
Yeah.
Only a few. Michael Wagner has sunlight, but the Southern Ground doesn't have sunlight. Vance Powell in the Sputnik studios, I don't think he has sunlight.
No, he has no windows. But that's a general thing for studios.
It just makes it easier.
He had a really nice porch where you can sit outside, and by the time when we recorded was September, October.
Really? And I think it was August.
No, it was September.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And it was really nice from the weather. Temperature just right for sitting outside.
I think that was the first time that we were in Nashville in the summer.
Yeah.
So times before, it was always like autumn, a bit later. And people told us that it's gonna be awful because it's so moist. I didn't have that impression. I felt comfortable.
I think the most weather is July, August. But we have to ask Lindsay that because she lives there, or she lived there.
Yep. Should give Lindsay a microphone.
Yeah, she needs one.
She said it's in August.
Ah, okay.
I think. Yeah, which song is that?
I Am What I Am. We play that live
that's a cool
often.
Song.
That riff is actually inspired by Deep Purple.
Burn?
Yeah,
I think it's Burn.
It could be Burn.
It's a Burnish riff. That song is really cool for live gigs.
Yeah, it's our all-time favorite. The one thing I was impressed by or surprised when we were in the studio, that it was really easy to record analog.
It was really fast.
It was much faster, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we didn't do it track by track. Instrument by instrument, but had this.
We recorded the basic tracks. We recorded like 3, 4, sometimes even 5 songs in a day.
Yeah.
In one day.
And
we booked the studio for 2 or 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah. But Andrea Tocchi is a really fast producer. He likes to work really fast. He doesn't sit around much. He just
and also he doesn't need a lot of time to change settings on the analog machines. Like you would think that it would take quite some time to exchange the bands. What do you call it? The tapes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It's really fast. At least with Andrea.
Yeah, he has his setup and his way, and he's just really skilled at that.
And Andrea is the kind of producer that almost goes into songwriting with you. He comes into the in the recording room with the band and really gets together with the band, at least in our case, and was like, how about you try playing that riff this way, or we should do something with the verse, maybe we should shorten it, or like maybe we should add a part, add a different chord, stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of other producers don't do that. They see themselves more like an engineer and don't really say a lot to songwriting or arrangement.
Yeah, Andrea's really enthusiastic about it, his work.
Yeah.
This is, what song is this?
I Want to Love.
I Want to Love, yeah. We did a lyric video on this song. It took me about 3 weeks to make it.
Yeah.
Lots of editing and After Effects.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's almost more work to make a release of an album than to produce it and write it, I think.
Yeah, this experience.
People that don't realize that just consume music, that don't do music or are in bands themselves, they just get the product. Yeah, they don't really see what's behind all that.
There's so much work behind it and around the album. Like once you have the tracks, it's like just the beginning of the of the release, you know.
Yeah.
Now you have something you can work with, but then you still have to arrange all the release dates and
promotion,
the print, the layout,
photos, videos,
music videos,
even like a press text,
a release plan, like social media plan,
and if you can, of course, a tour.
And a tour. It's really much. It's like it never ends, you know. You start with planning the release 9 months before, and then you work every day in the 9 months. There's always something to do. Until up to the release, you have then you have like a really active phase of social media and of video releases, of press releases, of interviews. It goes on and on.
Yeah, and all of it costs money.
Yeah, money is always important. Without money, you're going nowhere. Unless you have a label which does everything for you, but we have our own label, so we have like all the work rests on our shoulders. But that's why we get all the profit then.
Yeah. The payday is gonna be big.
Because labels these days, they make really shitty deals with you, and you get nothing from the royalties, or really not much. Like maybe €1 per album sold or something like that.
Yeah. That's the philosophy of our current manager. He was like, when we started doing business together, I asked him if we should go try to get a label to get to sign the band, and he actually liked the concept that we had. We have all the rights, because he said that's the most important thing for a band to have, is the rights to their music.
Yeah, we even had an offer from Napalm Records, Austrian label, but we refused it at the time. It was 2017, because the deal was not really good.
Mm-hmm.
And
you never know what they're gonna do with you.
Right.
Like, how much are they gonna invest in the band? Or are you just gonna be like one of 100 other bands they have signed and nothing's happening?
That's just a.
And there's actually a lot of bands, for example, with Napalm Records, that you almost hear nothing of. They're just in the roster. That's it.
I think the only advantage you have from being signed at a big label is that you have a good standing and a good reputation with venues and festivals, because they think, okay, you're with a label, then you must be good.
Yeah.
And then they more readily book you.
Yeah, but there's some psychology behind it, definitely.
But besides from that, it's like you said, it's a mixed bag. You never know what you're gonna get with that label. And Chris, our manager, our current manager, he just said we were right with this decision to not go with the label.
Yeah.
Because he said it's not important. The contract is not the important thing, but who is assigned to you? Like,
yeah, right.
Who's the employee that is assigned to manage you at the label? And you can have a lucky draw, or you can have some shitty guy who
doesn't care, who doesn't give a shit,
who doesn't care about you, and then you're just stuck with that label for the next 3 years.
Oh no!
and you have to produce another album or two to get out of that.
Yeah, like, or sometimes even like 3 to 5 albums, something like that, no?
Yeah.
But anyway, this is True Blood. The lyrics are based upon the show True Blood, which we really loved, but we never pulled it through to the end. We never watched the ending of that show.
No, we watched it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, then I didn't.
You just can't remember. At the end, I think... I don't know what happened. I just it's so long ago. But we watched the finale season, I think it was 2014 or so when they came out. But
I think Bill died, something like that.
I think he went away or he died. Something about him. No, I think he died, yeah.
Yeah.
Bill the vampire guy. Well, we discovered the series very late. I think it was 2013. We discovered it and watched everything. We just binge watched it.
Yeah.
Anyways, for those who don't know the series, it's about a world where vampires live with humans together, and they have developed something which is called True Blood, which is synthetic blood, which vampires can feed from.
But they don't like it as much as real blood.
Right, but they don't have to kill for blood anymore.
And on the other hand, there's people that really like to hang out with vampires and get sucked.
Yeah. And there are the vampires that only drink humans, like the hardliner vampires. And the official vampires, they drink True Blood so they can get along with humans.
It's really, pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And it plays in the south. It plays, I think, in Alabama or something.
Yeah, I think it's Alabama.
So it inspired us so much to make a song about it. True Blood. The sound of the song sounds really occult, really dark. I like. And that outro, that's really epic.
Mm-hmm. And on that track, you can also hear Alexis Susky is her name, I think.
Yeah.
Of the singer. She has a great voice.
I think she still lives in Nashville. I see some of her posts on Facebook from time to time. There was also Joel McNulty on the album as a singer. In what's that song called?
Definitely on Road of Life.
And Road of Life, and the other one.
Some other one. We're gonna hear it.
That's a really cool ending.
Somebody asked me if that was a theremin.
It is a theremin sound, but it's not actually a theremin.
Yeah, it's the Moog.
Yeah, it's the Moog.
It really sounds occult.
I haven't heard the song in a long time. Really surprised me now, the ending.
Soul Burn.
Yeah, that's where Joel sings.
Oh yeah, right. That's what he's using. Now I'm not even sure if he sings on Road of Life, because I switched them up.
It's a 6/8 measure. Really emotional song.
I think Andrea really liked that song. He put a lot of his ideas into that song, actually. Like the way that Daniel played the first part of that verse.
Mm-hmm.
That was Andrea's idea of how to play those drums.
I think the best song on this album, in my opinion, is Road of Life, from what Andrea did to it.
Yeah, he did a lot, because we just came with a couple of chords and some lyrics, a little bit of some vocal melodies for Road of Life, and he turned it into a song, a really cool song.
I think you can hear a lot about what Andrea did to Alabama Shakes. Like you can hear a lot of the sounds that he used with them. What's the most famous song from Alabama Shakes? This it's very similar, like very similar bass line.
Really? I can't remember.
There's Joel singing the background vocals. That was Andrea's idea as well, of that ascending vocal line in the background. I think we should do that live, actually.
Yeah,
I haven't played that song so often yet.
We played it on. We played it for a while.
The sound of it is really like fuzzy and warm.
I think we do a good job of keeping the tempo. I mean, if you keep in mind that we didn't play it on click or anything.
Daniel is really good at keeping tempo.
Yeah. And another thing that Andrea also, he gave especially cool instructions to the drumming of Daniel. Like he said things that I don't even understand to this day. Like what Daniel apparently, obviously he understood what he meant. He said things like, "Man, you got to play it higher. You got to make your drums sound higher."
Okay.
And then Daniel was like, "Okay, all right, I'll do that." Like, what the fuck?
How can you play it higher?
But the thing is, it really did sound like it made you feel higher. Like the energy was higher or something. I don't know.
That's a fun one. Space Rockin' Woman. I think that's the shortest song on the album. I don't know who came up with that riff. I think it was me.
I don't know who came up with that riff, but I can remember I wanted it to sound like Eagles of Death Metal.
Yeah. The one song.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does sound like the Eagles of Death Metal, but I wanted it to sound like that. But it's a good thing that it doesn't sound like that, right? Because we are we, and
that's one of the things we always do, is then take an idea, an element from somebody other.
I think everybody does that. That's just being inspired.
But we do it like in numerous ways. So much elements that come together. And people always say, your album sounds like this, but this and that. But I can't really put my finger on what kind of style that should be. Like
this is definitely like a surf rock style again. We have that a couple of times on. We have a song like that on every album we did.
Yeah, Time Lord on 3. Then we have...
No, Time Lord is Dreamcatcher.
No,
3...
No, Time Lord is on 3.
Oh yeah, right. Which one is on Dreamcatcher? On Dreamcatcher, I think we don't have a song like that.
You're Making Me Wild a little bit.
That's not a surf rock.
And then on Fire and Ice we have... what's it called? Break the Chain.
Yeah.
And on the new one, it's Crazy. It's always like a recurring theme. We do a surf rock song. It's only 2 minutes 30 seconds, something like that.
That's good for radio.
Sure. We did a really cheesy video.
Yeah, but we
had to delete it.
We put it down.
It was too bad.
Luckily, not a lot of people watched that one.
And that was Space Rockin' Woman.
Road of Life.
That's Road of Life.
That again is a good example of Andrea's input, because he put that Latin feel into that song, into the verse. And the cool thing is just the contrast between the verse and the chorus, because this really feels like a Latin thing.
Yeah. And the vocal lines are again from Joel. The background.
You kind of have like this, the band, Tito and Tarantula, the band that plays in the movie From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the song, but it's where Selma Hayek, what's her name? Of that actress, the dancer.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, they play that song and it has the same kind of feel.
I think Andrew was a big fan of Americana music.
Yeah.
And you hear that a lot with his albums. What he makes.
He's not really a heavy music guy.
No. I think we were the heaviest band he had in a while.
And he also said that European bands always have something dark.
It's true. I think he said that it's not common for American bands to make songs in minor keys. They mostly use major keys because
really? Yeah, that's true.
It's perceived.
Well, no, actually, what he said is in the traditional American music styles, like blues, for example, you have the mixture. You don't really have minor or major. There's like an in-between tonality. Mm-hmm. Like you can play a major chord, but then improvise a solo or whatever, and play the minor third.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you get that bluesy sound. I think that's what he meant.
No, I think it was about when you're making music for the charts, they mostly use major to make it happy and upbeat and engaging, and that's why they keep their hands off minor keys, because it's too sad.
Okay, yeah.
At least when you're trying to make chart music.
Makes sense, yeah.
That's the Moog again.
Yeah.
Debbie here sings in a really unusual rhythm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really difficult to put the backing vocals on Debbie's vocals, because the rhythm is really unusual, as you said.
Mm-hmm. But and Andrea said he really liked it, that she sang out of the usual.
He was all for it, just to leave it the way it is.
It was always when you play a solo, and tracking a solo with him, it's like, leave it, it's really good, you can't do it any better.
Okay.
There was some mistakes, but then he said, we're just gonna dub over the mistakes, but leave this because it will never get better.
Okay.
Because it was always the decision he had to make at analog recording, that either you take it or you erase
do
it
the whole thing
and do it over.
Yeah, because you can't cut little. It's really difficult to.
You can't store multiple
little
takes.
parts.
And when you go on digital, you can store like 100 takes from the solo.
Yeah.
But you only can do one, and then you can cut like little bits and like do correct some little parts, but you cannot.
Yeah, right.
Cannot do the same as on a digital machine.
It's just a different approach. But that's an interesting thing, how a technical thing can really force you to be force your creativity to be different. When we're talking about the Free album, remember I said that Michael always liked me to play like 20 solos, 20 guitar solos, and then he would take the best parts of every one of those 20 solos and edit it to one solo, to one really good. And he said that's how Van Halen did it, that's how Dokken did it, and like bands from the 80s till now. And that's how he always did it. And in the end, you get a really outstanding guitar solo, of course.
Yeah.
And this here is a completely different approach. But it's also good.
This is Witchcraft. I think this is one of the most occult albums we have done.
Yeah.
So just that it sounds occult, and
the cover.
The cover is occult with the one eye here.
It's actually two
and a half eye. 1.5 eyes. This is about Wicca, witchcraft, and your inner power.
Mm-hmm.
It's really feminine kind of empowerment.
Yeah. For people who are fans of organ, this is a great album.
All our albums are great for people who like organ.
I would say that on Fire and Ice, for example, the guitars are much more dominant than on this one.
Yeah, it's a good. The guitar here is not as present. This is the happy part, like the major chords.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty unexpected.
Yeah, did a lot of experimental stuff here. I don't know what kind of sound I used there. I think it was the Moog.
Huh. I don't know. It actually sounds
almost like a talk box.
Yeah, that was what I wanted to say. But it's like an organ with a talk box. Is that even possible?
I think we used the talk box, but not
did.
on the organ.
Okay. I know that I used one.
I think you used it on the last song.
Yep.
What's it called? Something with Evil Devil. Dance with the Devil.
Dance with the Devil, yeah.
And then there's this outro part.
This is pretty cool. A very cool outro. I really like what Daniel is doing with the drums right here.
That's what was the specialty of Daniel. You never knew when the
that's exactly what
the cue came.
Well, right here. That's exactly what he's doing. Like he's pretending that the one is coming.
Yeah.
That he's giving the cue, but actually he doesn't.
Yeah. Sometimes it was so crazy. I didn't even know what he did. Like where's the cue? Like. Like, not yet. It's not yet. Wait for it. Wait for it.
No. But I would have expected it to come like one beat, not one beat. Yeah, one beat later.
Yeah.
Just listening to it right now.
This last part was really just improvised.
Yeah.
And even there was no clear structure here. I think the organ is still from the first take.
That's what I really like about not playing to a click, is that you can really feel, you just feel more free to improvise and to even change the tempo, go into a different direction.
But it has also adventures playing click. It's just...
I like it.
More, with click it's just more powerful and...
yeah, the production is gonna be much more powerful in the end. But for yourself as a musician, I think it's more fun too. If you have other good musicians around you that can keep the tempo and have a good feel for rhythm, it's awesome. Not to play on.
This song is "It's Still I Rise." The lyrics are actually written by a slave. From the 19th century. Right. So. I don't know her name, but she was a slave in America.
I think Hollywood should use this song for like a movie like Django Unchained or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it really has that same feel also. Would really work well in a movie like that. Tarantino. Listen to a podcast and get that song in one of your upcoming movies.
Maybe it can happen. It's like this coincidence where you listen to a podcast and then, whoa, that's really a good song. But I know that Quentin Tarantino always searching for new stuff.
Andrea said something mean to me on that song.
Really?
It really stung in my heart.
What?
I wanted to have a really distorted guitar sound. And he gave me just the cleanest Fender amp that he could find. I was like, play this amp.
Okay.
And I was like, no, I can't get a distortion out of this amp. And but I played it anyway, and I kind of liked the sound. And I said to Andrea, "This is actually the sound is pretty cool, but I would have never chosen to play an amp like that."
Yeah.
And then he said something like, "That's exactly the reason why you're never gonna get famous, Rio."
Okay. You have to play clean amps then.
But he was just joking, of course, because I am famous already. So
yeah. Maybe he's a really light-hearted guy. We visited him last year.
Yeah.
We went to a studio again.
Was it last year?
It was last year, yeah. He had renovated the whole studio and rebuilt it. It was really impressive. I think he was making a lot of money with his studio.
He expanded it a whole bit, made it a lot larger.
But he told me that he never does advertisement.
Yeah.
Never. They never spends $0 on advertisement. Still the people just come to him.
I guess I don't think a lot of studios do that. Like, do you think Southern Ground does advertisements?
I don't know. Some I think have to do it, but I guess when you're in Nashville, it's just natural that people come to you.
When you do something that special as Andrea, I don't think there's no need to do advertisement, because musicians are just going to spread the word that there's a good guy who does an awesome job in recording analog.
Had the Alabama Shakes that I think
that probably helped.
That helped him a lot.
To get that guitar solo sound, I plugged directly into some kind of fuzz pedal, and from that fuzz pedal directly into the recording desk.
Mm-hmm.
This is a pretty cool idea. There's no amp between it.
Yeah.
I later found out that actually the guy from the Eagles of Death Metal, that's how he gets his guitar sound for the records.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He just goes directly from a fuzz pedal into the desk.
Okay, you don't even need an amp then with a fuzz pedal.
If you like that sound. That's the way to go.
Yeah. What's the long outro of the song? Oh, there's some mellotron in it. Just heard it now.
Oh!
And this is
Dance with the Devil.
When I heard the song, I thought this is gonna be our hit song.
Really?
For the album, yeah.
It's definitely like a dance thing. It's a dancey song.
It's just a pentatonic, up and down.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool.
But that's how most pop songs are written, right?
Yeah, but wait for the verse. That's pretty cool.
Should be like this song would be perfect for a horror movie or some mystery movie.
No, I don't think that would fit.
Maybe a horror comedy movie.
I'm trying to think of a movie where, because I think the energy is just way too high and a good mood.
No,
I get a good mood when I listen to
that
that song.
part of the, you know, these horror movies where they have these teenage groups go in the forest, and at the beginning of the movie they have a good time.
Yeah, right.
They can play it at the beginning, and
it's a party song, definitely.
Yeah. And then then it gets darker, and there's something evil lurking in the shadows.
Like,
but you also could play it in the second half
Dave
of the movie.
and Tucker versus Evil or something. That kind of movie.
Or you make it to a musical, where you have like a horror musical, and in the middle of this movie they sing the song, and then the witches are dancing. Like, yeah, dance with the devil. Or it could be like a series about witches, or like Sabrina. That drum sound is really cool.
Yeah.
The drums.
A lot of room. You hear a lot of the room. And I think the drums is where you hear most of the tape saturation sound. There's this YouTube guy, Rick Beato. He has a video on how he explains the difference between tape saturation and non-tape saturation. It's a huge difference.
That's a lot of it on this album, definitely.
Like we always did, we recorded like a take in the recording room, and then we went back to the control room where Andrea was and listened back to what we just played, and I was just always blown away by the sound that came out of those speakers. It was so cool. Yeah, that's it.
That was it?
That was the
Blue Eyes. I think that was the short version.
Yeah, that was the short version.
The song Blue Eyes itself.
Blue Eyes is missing. And another one.
But that's the release version, because we left Blue Eyes, the song, out of the album Blue Eyes, for sure, which was a bit ironic to omit the one song that the album is called after. Okay, that was it for Blue Eyes today. And you will hear about us next week again. And I hope you had a good time. And see you next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.